All right, all right, all right. I'm getting ready to come on in. Let's get it together. Oh my goodness. It's been a long day, but we about to get going. Okay, let me go ahead and find my knobs. Oh my goodness. Am I frozen? I think I'm frozen. I'm trying to see which Wi-Fi I'm on here. Just trying to get it started. Hold on 1 second. If I lose you, I'm just changing Wi-Fi. Okay. Right now, my computer is frozen. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm back now. Hold on 1 second. I am here. Just trying to get to my screen. Oh my goodness. Daggone Wi-Fi, everything's messing up. I had to switch over. And hey, maybe it is operational error, the operator error. All right, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Yo Rants Oversized Load. And I'm back and just wanted to have a special edition for what's coming up this week. Now, a lot of people have made the statement about SB33 not being that bad. Well, hey, maybe not, but we will see. Um, but according to what we've already read and broke down, it's a pretty bad bill. Basically, it's just layering more restrictions on top of the already strained hemp industry. So, this particular show right here is a policy breakdown mode, and it's what I call the rapid response. Let me get this out from back behind me. Yeah, the rapid response, and with the rapid response, this episode is just dealing with the legislation, and we're gonna try our best to move quickly, even though it looked like I'm moving kind of slow tonight. But it's just like I said, it's just, I guess, with the atmosphere today and everything that's going on right now, it's a lot going on in this world. And I know a lot of times people say it's more of a pressing issue besides cannabis and hemp, but we have to realize that whatever we're assigned to do at that moment, we need to make sure that we go ahead and fulfill that. Like with me, I wear many hats. I have many causes. I have many things that I want to make sure that I fulfill my duty and my calling and what I'm working with. But we're going to move quickly with this, and we're just dealing right now with SB33 and some other legislation that's coming on. But I just want to go ahead and put this disclaimer out here. This is my interpretation. It's based on public available bills and vote records. And if you disagree, you can go ahead and drop it down in the chat or whatever. We can just have a discussion, because this right here is not a place where I'm going to be honest. Even though it's called Yo Rants, I don't feel like fussing tonight. I really don't. But, just we'll talk about it. You know what I mean? We're not always going to agree. But where we're going to start tonight is we're going to start back in 2019. I'm going to see if I can share my screen, because I have to reshare my screen because I had to redo my, what is 213? I'm trying to locate it. Let's see, 213 and Windows. Okay. All right. What we're going to do, we're going to go back to 2019, SB213, the Georgia Hemp Farming Act. And this aligned during the time with the Federal Farm Bill Act, and that's defined up under the cannabis under 0.3% Delta 9 THC. Hemp and cannabis are the same plant, and a lot of times they continue to try and separate this because the law isolates the THC levels. So, and we're going to look at the ones who voted in favor of SB 213, because this is all going to climax at the end, I do believe, because this year is an election year. By it being an election year, these legislators right here have voted. You'll be able to vote for them this year. The state house and the state senate, they both are elected every 2 years. We're going to go to the final vote for the Senate in 2019, and we're going to see who actually voted against the Farm Bill Act. So we're going to look at some of the legislators. We have Anderson, Harbin, Heath, and Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick is the one that is the legislator that is carrying SB 33 this year. And as we move forward with that, so that's that particular legislation. But we're going to have something else we're talking about with that too. Just to bring up, this is part of the medical cannabis bill, and we're going to also show the voting record when it comes to this too. Let's go to the Senate vote, the final Senate vote for HB324, and let's see who else voted against the medical cannabis expansion or the low dose THC program. Here we go. The other sponsor of this, SB 33, which is Senator K. Kirkpatrick. Once again, we're going to go further with that right here. But one thing about 213 that I see is that right here, Tyler Harper, who is the current ag commissioner, he is the one who carried this bill in the Senate back in 2019. So with Tyler Harper, he was able to carry this bill. It became law. And, looking at that between now and today, it's a big leap. So we're going to jump into 2024 with SB 494. Keep that in mind. At the time, Senator Tyler Harper, he was Senator Osceola, and he was the carrier of HB 213, which is the Georgia Farm Bill Act, which allowed the intoxicating hemp to all types of hemp processing. So we're going to move forward with that. And where are we now? Let's see. I think it is We're going to move forward to the hemp package of 2024. That particular hemp package in 2024 was a doozy. 494 did pass. I'm trying to pull up that particular bill now. Hold on 1 second. I thought I had all my stuff together, but actually, you know what? We're just going to walk this thing through. Let's go to 424, and it's 494. And with SB 494, this particular legislation did pass. And of course, we're going to see who was a part of this particular legislation and who passed with the 494. Let's see the final Senate vote. Let's see, 494. Let's see who all said yes to this. Very surprising. Looks like everyone except for Butler and I guess Hussiford. But we see all these legislators right here who voted in favor of 494. All right. Now, when I share about the different legislation that comes through about the green and as far as who voted in favor or whatever, we have to realize that the legislators see quite a few bit of bills throughout the year. And when they see the bills throughout the year, it's bananas. They see thousands of bills. Do you actually think they get a chance to really read them? That's why it's going to take advocates like you to come out to speak about these bills, to follow these bills of your own interest, because you have a lot of people that are voting against your interests. Okay, and let's see. Oh, hold on. Okay, I got a few comments here. Hold on 1 second. And trying to pull it up. Okay, in 2024, we saw stacking of legislation, multiple hemp bills laid out in layered language, to tighten the definitions. And as we realized that, even back then, some of the big box companies here in Georgia, they supported SB 494, and they used, I guess, that same script that they continue to use about the bad players. And it said that SB 494 structure compliance became so tight that nearly everyone was vulnerable. So they didn't realize that when they were supporting it at the time when it was passing along with the other hemp package, because the agriculture commissioner, the commission, they dropped a whole big stack of hemp legislation back in 2024 that we're still continuing to fight. And that's how we're moving towards the SB33, and we're going to keep moving along. Let's see. And so back in 2024, we had the opportunity to have our patients and business owner advocates to come out to apply pressure to some of that legislation. We had the opportunity with our squad leader, Christina. We organized and were able to have one bill table, but we were, they were able to add it to 494 at the final stages. So basically 494 was a rider for all different legislations. But I'm looking for my thing. Let's see. Hold on. I'm looking at my notes now because I'm going to tell you, it's a lot to this, especially trying to make sure that I don't miss anything. So let's see. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to 33. All right. With the difference between what SB 494 to layer in on SB 33. With SB 494, it gave the Georgia Department of Agriculture the authority to become the law enforcement. They policed hemp. They even were involved in a few, raids. I'm going to share that video later. But dealing with this particular piece of legislation, that's why I say tied into SB33 and 494, that's just like going to wipe out the entire industry. Now, SB33, it restricts total intoxicating cannabinoids to 0.3%. And it's not just Delta 9 total intoxicating cannabinoids. That includes Delta 8, Delta 10, HHC. And I'm going to be honest, I don't even know what HHC is. And when I look at these different types of cannabinoids, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm okay with just the natural occurring cannabinoids that's in there, because a lot of times those bad players that I guess that they continue to use that term, the bad players, those are the ones that are spraying the plants with the different terpenes to get higher potency and stuff like that. So I don't even know what any of that stuff is. I know what CBD is, CBG, just the base cannabinoids that I know of. But I know for a fact that some of those cannabinoids that they do sell, I stopped buying when I did some research on it. And that's what a lot of people can do. If you do your own research, seriously, you don't have to worry about, the different deltas and stuff that you may not want. So, that's why I'm always for home grow, but that's a whole nother story. But with SB 494 along with SB 33, it protects if a product fails testing. That's another thing. If a product fails testing, all related consumable products may be disposed of. Let me go ahead and add this. Let's say like here. And okay, here we go. Oh yeah, they actually have to be disposed of. I know I don't have enough to blow this bill up. Can I blow it up? Yeah, I think I can. Let's see. Zoom in. Okay, this right here is 33. Okay. Let's see. Here we go right here. So anything that is destroyed, y'all forgive me because I'm seeing messages and stuff pop up over here and I'm still working this backstage. However, our intern will be on soon enough to help me with coordinating this. So, I guess that's what happens when you have a little bit of ADHD and then you're a little tired, not feeling your best. That's another thing. So, hey, that's my disclaimer. So, but what 494 did back in 2024, what that did was to go ahead and set the retailers up to get rid of a lot of product. And this 33 is added on to it. So if a product fails testing, all related consumable hemp products may be disposed of. That right there is including the entire lot, the SKU, all that other stuff. So it could hurt a lot of businesses out there when it comes to it, because with 494, according to the first, the Farm Bill of 2018, with 2018 Farm Bill, the federal Farm Bill, what that reference to was that it was by 0.3% dry weight base when it comes to THC. However, what changed in the legislation with SB 494, which hurt a lot of farmers, retailers back in 2024, 2025, and where we are now, is the fact that they decarb the hemp. And knowing that with THCA, with that acid or whatever, it becomes higher levels of THC when it comes to the when you set it on fire, which that's a question to me anyway. And if you have a legal product, if you have legal THCA, it's legal. It's in your hand. It's below 0.3%. Now, if you add heat to it, then it becomes illegal. So that's my question. If they're not really and truly able to determine if it's legal or not until they do something to it, which is combust, add heat to it, wouldn't that be like tampering with evidence? I mean, that's just the question I'm asking. Seriously, if there are any lawyers or anything out there they're watching, is that an argument that we could bring up? Are they tampering with evidence when they set it on fire because, hey, it was legal when you took it from me? So that's just one question. And so by the Georgia Department of Agriculture, hold on. I'm looking for the video now because I was going to play that video from the ag commissioner. I think when I had to reset everything, all of my saved videos and stuff, they all went away. So I'm having to upload them once again. Now that I'm here, and here we go. Okay. All right. And where are my slides? Okay. And all right. Okay. All right. All right, let's go ahead. I think I did this slide. I just didn't have them up. I had forgot to put them up. Y'all forgive me. Okay, so yeah, I did cover that. All right, so the Georgia Department of Agriculture and the hemp raid. So I need to find that video so that I can play that. But in the meantime, I will play this video so it'll be in reference to just to remind us that the legislators haven't always been telling us the truth. I think that's where I was going to go. Hold on. I'm coming. Okay. All right. Trying to pull it up now. Hold on. Okay, I'm pulling it up now. It's just like, oh my God, when I had to restart my computer, everything got gone. So let's say technical difficulties, but hey, it could be operator error. Let's see. I'm looking for it now because I definitely want to show you all this. Yeah, I definitely want to show you this because basically it shows what the agriculture commissioner was able to do.
From Pierce County, the Georgia Department of Agriculture.
One second. Okay, here we go. Let's stop, remove, and okay, yeah, I think I got it. Let me share, stop sharing, and share. You know, my hat goes off to people who can actually multitask. Oh my God, my hat go off to you. Okay, so here we go. And let's see, let's add it to the stream. Let's get it.
and the Pierce County Sheriff's Office deputies teamed up to make one of the largest drug busts in state history. Investigators found more than 11,000 marijuana plants worth millions of dollars. Steve Gelbach attended a news conference on Tuesday where officials unveiled the details about the seizure.
From seedling to full-grown and ready to harvest, 11,153 plants found inside this marijuana grow facility in rural South Georgia.
But it was a very sophisticated operation.
The state's ag commissioner joined the Pierce County Sheriff in announcing the huge pot bust.
We estimate that street value to be $22.3 million.
They launched an investigation about a month ago after an undercover deputy learned the facility was a fish farm. Raiding the place last Friday with help from the Department of Ag that investigates food safety and production, they quickly found that the fish was only a cover.
The sheriff and his team reached out to our law enforcement division to help them investigate that particular facility. And because of that, that falls in our jurisdiction.
Officials arrested 4 suspects, all Chinese nationals, 1 woman and 3 men. They think they started the marijuana grow operation in Pierce County sometime in 2022. With hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in this facility.
What we found was a very high-tech growing operation utilizing electric lighting, and they were watering by hand, had a tailwater recovery system.
Sheriff said they think the finished product was shipped out of state, and the suspects had ties all the way from New York City to Houston, involved possibly in a much larger drug ring.
All right. I am coming back. No, I'm just looking at, I think I lost you all because I was actually looking for my other. Yeah, I was actually looking for my other share, but I guess not. I guess I can't find it. But dealing with that right there, that was part of 494. And the reason that we found out was due to the ones who were doing the GBI. I think because the GBI was so behind on everything. But we're going to get down to SB33. So as far as like, that's another thing that we're just wondering too when it comes to the legislation and the lobbyists. No, I'm coming through it. Is my computer froze again? Looks like it. I think I'm frozen. I'm not sure if I'm frozen. Am I frozen? Let's see. I think I am frozen. Okay, hold on. I think I went through that. Okay. All right, we're going to go to the next one. Okay, cool. Thank you. Straight from the boot. All right, cool. Let me go ahead and get back over here. So this next section right here is the... let's see. Where am I? Share screen. All right. And I'm pretty sure this is a question that so many of us may have had before. And just like, like with the lobbyists, we hear stories all the time of different big box companies or MSOs or whatever that are utilizing lobbyists, both for the, I guess, the private prisons, not only the private prisons, alcohol industry, all tied into each other. So that right there, it just makes you wonder, like with the lobbyists, to pay professional influence legislation on behalf of a client. And so that's the definition of a lobbyist. The definition of a lobbyist is a paid professional influencing legislation on behalf of a client. And an advocate, and me, I'm an advocate. I'm unpaid. So an advocate supports a cause, often unpaid. And the difference between an activist and an advocate, the activist takes public action for change. So, that's just a breakdown of that right there. And when someone says advocates aren't fighting hard enough, I can just tell you this right here. We're talking about showing up and, writing checks. So basically, you think about it. Who do you think the legislator may hear the loudest? They're probably going to hear the dollar the loudest. A lot of us advocates, we're doing, like I said, the advocates are doing it for free. Me, I know why I'm fighting. I'm fighting for my meds, no ifs, ands, or buts. And I know that right there, I'm up here hoping that the legislators would go ahead and act accordingly. But a lot of them don't. A lot of them just are influenced by lobbyists. And the lobbyists are there for their client, for their common interests. And we have to realize that, the lobbyists are the ones that are really and truly shaping the legislation, because so many of us can't get to the Capitol. So many of us are either working, preoccupied, because I'm going to tell you, when it came to legislation, I'm going to be honest, when I was working, I just went to work. I was too focused on trying to make money to survive. And that's what a lot of times people right now, they're in survival mode. So many of us are in survival mode. But when we have something that's directly affecting us, that with me is cannabis, because no, I have not always been a fan of cannabis. Haven't. I thought it was a gateway drug, but I know when I needed cannabis, it was there for me and it saved my life, period, point blank. I don't care what anybody else can say. I know what it did for me. It might not be for everybody, but I know it worked for me, and it should be available for those who it works for. So, but dealing with that right there, that's the difference between an activist. And that's why a lot of times it might always seem like I'm angry or whatever, but no, that is, I don't know. That's just that passion or whatever you call it. No. And I don't want to be coined as the angry Black woman. Angry. No, not angry. Frustrated. I'm frustrated by the fact that these legislators continue to sit on their butts or continue to collect their dollar. I say, I'm not blaming a party. What I am blaming at this point in time is the love of money. Love of money. And we're going to break that down too, because if you think about, a lot of these legislators only come around during election season. That's on the real. They only come around during election season, and we see that. They go to the churches, they go to kissing babies or whatever. But what really and truly counts is when they go to that Capitol and what they vote for. All of you all in those red areas, the red districts, Georgia, South Georgia, rural Georgia, those red areas, contact your legislator. We need your help. We need your help to contact your legislator. I know I'm off topic now, but no, we really need you all to contact your legislators down there in the red area. Why? Those are the legislators that are voting against cannabis, hemp, and cannabis reform. They are also voting against those who want to gamble. They're voting against gambling. I'm just telling you, these are the legislators y'all continue to elect into office over and over again. It shouldn't be that way. Just because they're part of your party that you want to be a part of, that you're loyal to, you got to check their record. I know before I reset my computer, I had all the legislators lined up and they're voting and what they voted for. The only one I was able to pull up at that time for the one that's carrying SB33 was Senator Kay Kirkpatrick. I'm not saying all her legislation is bad, because it was some legislation that I did highlight this year, because I don't even know if this is the correct way of saying the Prader-Willis disease. I didn't even know what that was. I was aware that was some good legislation that she put forth. But what my problem is, those legislators that don't vote along with their constituents, that what their common base want, what they need to do is to go ahead and do a survey. Unless the lobbyists are louder than the constituents. And as long as they don't increase the minimum wage, which is $5.15 and been $5.15 since what 2009, I don't know, 2009 or whatever. I don't even remember the year. $5.15 an hour. And look at the economy now. People are working multiple jobs just to survive. They're working multiple jobs. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold up. I got a comment right here. Okay, she said I'm not frozen. But yeah, people are working multiple jobs and they can't watch legislation. They got legislation right now. They're talking about cutting income taxes. Okay. But they only tell you the big, the shook. They're going to tell you the good stuff. They're not going to tell you what's deep down inside that legislation. They're going to tell you, they're going to paint everything so pretty. But you got to dig deep down inside that legislation. Just like I said earlier, a lot of the people who voted in favor of this different particular legislation some years ago, I say 494, because I was totally shocked when I saw so many Democrats vote in favor of that in the House. Whole slew of them for this particular legislation. I said, wait a minute. We told them this is bad. This is bad. This is going to hurt. But what the ones who wanted to have that piece of legislation in there, what they do, they mix a little good and bad in there. You know what I mean? You know how like, I know when I was a kid, drinking castor oil or whatever. Oh my God. And no matter what you mix with it, you still going to taste it, you know, to cover it up. You know, I had the castor oil, tried the little ginger ale or whatever to go with it, or try and make it taste, but it still tasted nasty. I don't even know whether or not if that's like a good comparison. I don't know. I'll think of something later. But anyway, it's just the fact they put all the good at the top of the bill. But when you dig down deeper inside of it, what do you see? You see their real intention. That's the same type of legislation and the tricks of the trade, what they did last week when they added some other language to some other bill. That was a great bill. It was a bipartisan bill, but they wanted to add an amendment to it. And I'm not talking about that bill right now because I don't feel like getting into it with anybody about this particular legislation because we're going to stay on topic with this one. Similar to what they did back in 2024 at the very end. They had that rider bill to go ahead and come on through. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put this comment up here. Let's see. Shout out to Joe Mack. Let's see. Okay, what he said. Hemp is considered male marijuana. Female. Okay, let's see. Said something else. Using the term cannabis is equivalent to saying human. All right, let's see. All right. Hemp flower and derivatives are considered a loophole. Okay, let's see. Okay. All right. Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. HHC is a synthetic cannabinoid. Gotcha. All right. Shout out Peachtree Normal. I see you here. Make sure you all join in on tomorrow night with the complete breakdown. Because like I say, look, if we was going to give you the strategy right now, live right now, totally, we're going to give you what's going on with SB33. We just know that it's bad. We're going to have a complete breakdown. You're going to have your materials and everything that you're going to need tomorrow when you come to the Peachtree Normal meeting, to where you know what to testify. Make sure you meet us at the Capitol at the Coverdale building at 7:30 a.m. on Wednesday. All right. So let's see. That was an illegal grow hiding under. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Yeah, thanks, Joe. Yeah, I shared that video. And let's go back to straight from the boot. All right. I agree with you, ma'am. I agree with you. They're here, the THC lobbyists first. But if the people speak out more, that can change. Okay. Yeah, that is so true. We get so many complaints. I'm going to tell you, I get an earful constantly. Messages. Like I say, y'all forgive me if I haven't responded back to your messages. My box is full. I hadn't had a chance to go through it, and just to make sure that it happens. So, let's see. I'm gonna drop this in the link right here. Hold on. Here you go, Aviva. I'm gonna go ahead and Aviva, I'm finna drop this in the thing because Aviva, she's about to join in. Hold on. Let me close this out. Let me see. Hey Aviva, I'm gonna drop this. I'm gonna drop this right here. I didn't want to put it in the stream. Trying to find a place to drop it. Oh my God, so many windows open. Let's see. Okay, I'll leave this one up here. Yes, and straight from the boot. She also said lobbyists may give $1,000 check, but 1,000 votes. Have the other candidates speak. For the other candidate speaks louder. Yes. And we definitely need to remember all of those legislators who caused a lot of these hemp stores, CBD stores to go out of business. We're going to remember you. We got a list, and we're going to put that list out. It's going to go out with that particular list. Who voted for what? You know why? Because a lot of times you got to put it in people's faces. Sometimes you got to switch parties. It's like, ugh. But you can do that in November. You don't have to vote down the party line like you have to do in the preliminaries. You don't have to do that. You know, I mean, it's not the preliminaries, the primaries. You don't have to do that. With those right there, you have to vote according to your party, whether you're whatever party you're affiliated with, whether you're Republican, nonpartisan, or Democrat. You have to vote with your party then. But then, November, when you vote, you remember them then. If you want to make sure you stay true to your party, at least then you can vote for who you want to vote for. But yeah. Okay, Aviva, I'm coming. I'm finna drop this in the chat. Let's see. Go to your Facebook chat, your Facebook inbox. I'm finna drop the link there for you to go ahead and join. No, I'm finna give it to you now. I'm coming to your link now. I'm sending you a message in Messenger. Everything is just so slow over here. I'm trying to pull it up. Okay. Okay, you should have it now. Okay. All right. We're going to get the SB33 to where I'm trying to, actually, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm actually just trying to find all of my notes and the breakdown for it. Because when I restart, like I said, when I restarted my computer, everything got restarted. And like I say, I'm not going to act like I'm just a pro at this because I'm not. I guess y'all see that too. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. I just heard somebody pop in. Let's see. Let me get you down. All right. I see you, Viva. I'm getting ready to come on in with you. Yeah, because I was trying to find my breakdown to add to the stage. All right. Hey, Viva, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
You already know what's going on. I was trying to get it together. But yeah, I did get a chance to get your video, and I spliced it up. And of course, when I had to restart my computer, everything cleared out. So you already know Murphy's Law right now is kind of what I'm experiencing. But I do have this right here. Um, I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember this, but this was back when 2022. I'm just gonna go ahead and pull it up. I'll show it to you. I think I got it right here. Is that the one? Or did I put it right here? No, I lost it again. I surely did. But anyway, welcome. Hey, Tiger Lily. How are you, Tiger Lily?
Hey, Mama Yolanda.
How you doing, baby?
Your prayers are healing the world.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. It's just like now that I know I'm almost an hour in, and I'm just like, you know what it's like, just dealing with
time for bed, huh?
yeah, I think I'm gonna have to start doing this show or whatever, like during the day when I'm awake. Because working on this all day was just like, okay, when it's time to go ahead and do the show, I'm like, okay, maybe I should do it like way ahead of time and then do it the next day or whatever. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, we got to be the change. Biorhythms are a real thing, and we got to take care of ourselves in every way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So but yeah, tell us a little bit about this clip right here. I'm gonna pull this up while I pull up the one with David, but maybe this one right here might set the tone. This one right here may set the tone, because when an elected official admits that, I had to go ahead and pull this straight from the site.
Okay.
Because when I pulled it straight from the site, I said, you know what? Because I can't really trust the different groups, because it's like, okay, if a Democrat posted, okay, let me go check the main source. Same thing with Republican, but check this.
Groceries or childcare tonight? It doesn't. And then we start getting down to some of the larger ones. And these are tax credits, actually, and sales tax exemptions that I believe the minority party has already signed legislation agreeing should end. Those relate to data centers. Several years ago, the data center tax credit totaled about $37 million. And it's technically a sales tax exemption. The way it works is, if you go to buy a laptop for your child to go to Georgia State or Georgia Southern this afternoon, you have to pay sales tax on that computer. But if somebody were to go tonight and buy $15 million worth of computers because they're building a data center, well, they pay no sales tax at all. That exemption by itself that used to total $37 million, well, I've told you, and Senator from the 52nd's told you, it's about $700 million now. Turns out we lied to you. We were wrong. The total of those credits that are found at...
I meant to get straight to that part because, like I said, I had that that whole clip up there where they said they lied to us. And my question is like public trust. How are we supposed to really trust them when it comes to this? How are we supposed to trust a legislator when they openly admit that they lied to us? Not saying we made a mistake. They lied to us.
Now, tell me more about what his role is.
His role is, that was just an example I was just using right there. You know how
But is he chairman of something?
I don't remember. I can't remember. I think I know he has some legislation out here. I can go ahead and look that up right quick. What is his name? Blake Tillery. Yeah, Blake Tillery.
Is he a senator or a rep?
Yeah, he's a senator. Let's
Okay.
see. Let me go ahead and see
No,
what.
I mean
Blake,
that took a lot of that was bold to say that. Was it because he's for a bill or against a bill, or is it a data center bill that he was talking about at that
yeah,
moment?
it's a data center bill, and I think I'm just thinking, like, when it's time for election season, especially with what's going on right now, and so many seats being changed from Republican to Democrat. A lot of times they start. I guess that's what's going on now. Maybe they're starting to listen to the community because you see so many seats and stuff being flipped. But I'm looking at his committees now. He is on the appropriations, government oversight, state institutions and property, finance, judiciary, and I don't know what this is. I don't know what this reappropriate. I don't even know what that word is right there. It's one of them funny words. Anyway, yeah, I got my head all mixed up. But anyway, yeah, he's on that committee. But as far as his sponsored legislation, what he has right now, he has I'm just looking at some of his legislation right now. Freedom of Speech and Belief Act. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, it lost in the Senate. Oh my God, because you already know this. That's the one that I was probably going to go ahead and go after as far as like the freedom of religion, because they passed last year with the Religious Freedom Act last year. That did pass last year. Let's see. Trying to see his legislation for this year. Pilot group. But anyway, but back to this right here. So just dealing with, I was just explaining to the audience about the lobbyists, the difference between a lobbyist, an activist, and
Yeah, I was listening on the car on my way. Yeah.
oh yeah. So, but as far
Very
as this
good.
right here, so when someone says they're fighting hard enough, and that's why I'm glad that you're here, because I get a lot. I get a lot of times people share things with people that they're not bold enough to share with the person that they may have a problem with. And I know we've had discussions and stuff like this. Like a lot of times people don't understand why you may testify in a certain way. You know what I mean? And I'm going to clean it up for the show from what I said before. But I'm going to go ahead and say, if they got a problem with a puppet testifying, they need to bring their ass. Period. They if people want to complain about a puppet testifying, they can bring their ass. Seriously, they can bring their ass. If they got a problem with a puppet signing up to testify without looking at the fact of, like, they might laugh and joke about, on camera or whatever, because I think last week, was it Representative Williams spoke about Scribbles. They ask about him. But you got to realize a lot of times they ask about him, they thinking like, yeah. I think in a sense they might be happy to see him. Or I don't know. What do you think of, Eva?
Hi, Yolanda.
Hi. What's going on, Scribbles?
Are you talking about me?
Of course I am. And why are you up so late? It is 8:21. Don't you have to go to school tomorrow?
I'm homeschooled.
Oh, okay.
Kitty Cat teaches me. Kitty Cat's my teacher.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. So and it's like, how is it
Yeah,
that,
go get his homework.
And
Yeah, I would just come and talk to legislators, but then one of them told me to sign up to speak one day, and I did.
I think I remember this one.
And that was 3/11/2021. And then I did a bunch of talking, and then Chairman said, "You and Scribbles are sharing the 5 minutes." And my mom got so mad. She wouldn't have let me talk at all if she knew that, because she wanted the whole 5 minutes.
I think I remember that. And I actually have that clip. when we talked about I think Corbin representative, was he he's a senator or a representative? Corbin. And
Corbin.
the question,
One of them was for.
yeah, because I'm trying to pull up this other clip too to add to it. I'm probably going to do all this other stuff and post edit because I had everything lined up. You know, I was working on it today. I had everything lined up, and I'm just like, oh my God, everything is gone and out the way, and I'm trying to locate it now. So hey.
You know, I'm just trying to keep my heart healthy. And I feel like when I have company, it's like the testimony lightens up. And I think that's okay. You know, a lot of people are like, you have to stay serious. And I don't think it's healthy for me to get that serious. I feel like my blood pressure rises. And I feel like I can say a similar thing, exactly like our last testimony was talking about. I can be the sunshine to help people take their masks off instead of being the wind to try to blow it off, or the scissors, or the anger. I mean, I have so many anger issues. Like, there's so much I'm angry about. And I used to have it physically in my body. And I'm sure I still do in different ways, but it used to be physical pain until I started doing primal therapy and screaming it out and screaming about like whoever abused me and just rah! And then the pain went away, you know? And I think a lot of activists have not processed their pain, and they think they have to be angry. All the anger has to go towards the legislators. And it's and that's a lot to put on them. Like, not that they don't deserve to be held accountable.
Yeah.
But if you're making them responsible for the abuse that happened when you were a kid subconsciously, that's not going to come back to you in a good way. And you got to work on you. And I think a lot of us are even drawn to stand up for justice because we had issues as kids and we didn't get the justice that we needed. So we have to take really good care of ourselves when we have these motivations to make things right, to make sure that we're taken care of, because we weren't taken care of when we were a child, perhaps. And we don't want to re-traumatize ourselves. So it becomes a system. If it's systematic abuse, then who's to say it's not going to be systematic re-traumatization and you are just cruising for a bruising, you know, by putting yourself in that position again.
Exactly. I get you with that, because it's like I could tell a difference, you know, when Scribbles is there with you versus when he's not there, because I do remember your testimony with 144, and I could see that you were shaken afterwards. You know,
I'm always shaken with or without him. It's very interesting process being down there, which is why I need to pace myself if I'm not getting any reciprocity.
Yeah, and that's another thing when it comes to us advocates that go to the Capitol. Financially, well, aesthetically, it looks like we're getting paid for this, but really and truly, we're driven by our calling and our passion. And by us being driven by our calling and our passion, a lot of times when reality hits, when Georgia Power, the water company, all these different companies, the bills come through. That's another thing. Gas prices that come through. Like, you have the different CBD stores that we're fighting for. And I know why I'm fighting for them. You know, I'm fighting for them because they're my colleagues, and they helped us when the medical dispensaries weren't available. They weren't here. The CBD stores were here. And that's like two sides to the coin. When you look at during that particular time with the Farm Bill of 2018, that it basically allowed the people to enter in intoxicating botanicals and make money. And that's when a lot of people left and stopped pushing towards medical cannabis. So in my opinion, if medical cannabis had moved forward fully and solidified that solid foundation versus people bailing out too soon to where they were able to divide us. And that's where we are now. You got
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
like Yolanda, I am the industrial hemp girl. I want grassland. I want hemp seeds. I want hemp stuff in Georgia. And, you know, I could be a farmer myself, but I'm not. I'm just advocating for them. And so I have my events, and it's never just been industrial hemp. Like, not a lot of people just want industrial hemp. So every time I have an event and I'm thinking like, okay, we're just going to be doing industrial hemp, everyone always wants to talk about everything, which is fine with me. And I've adapted. But originally I was like, why can't we just talk about industrial hemp also? But it's all one plant, right? But then it got bad. Like, it got to the point where there's no industrial hemp in Georgia. It's just CBD. And so like you'll see the history of me speaking, and I'm like, even the legislators, I'm like, can you put industrial hemp in the industrial hemp program? All you have laws for is CBD. There's no sprouts, there's no microgreens, there's no fiber, there's no fuel. So, you know, my theory is that that's why the plant is illegal. So it's like, why is it hard for me to find other people to stand on this soapbox with me? Like, why? Because there's no money to be made, you know?
And I guess that's kind of like with me, because like industrial hemp, you introduce that aspect of that for me, because, you know, we have other people talking about industrial hemp. However, I guess we came together because medical cannabis was for me. You know what I mean? Because I know how it helped me and how it saved my life. And I saw the difference between the fulfillment for mine. So we were able to mesh that together. And in a sense, if you think about what a plant is, it's all meshed together because it's one plant.
It is.
And when the legislators want to separate it, you just got to realize this right here. You look at a chicken. Look at a chicken. You got different parts of the chicken. Now you having different parts of the chicken. You know, hey, a lot of people might want the leg. You know, a lot of people might want dark meat, white meat kind of thing, right? Same thing when it comes to this plant. Sometimes you might want to cook it in different types of ways. You know, you might want to prepare your plant different ways. Like, okay, hey, I don't want to consume it. I don't want to ingest it. However, I want to build with it. But who's looking to lose money on this? Who's losing money? That's kind of like they keep playing with us. When it comes to this SB33, all that is that same hemp packet from 2024. And they kept adding layers all the way back to 2021 with, I don't know, was he a senator? Was it Mullis? But I know he was the first one to get the Moldy Bud Award, along with everyone else who signed off on that piece of legislation, trying to incarcerate people for life for Delta 8. I think it was Delta 8 or something like that. It was 2021, because I think that's when we started really following the bills and stuff back then. But
it almost seems like they know that we're annoyed. And that's why sometimes I just want to completely unplug, because I don't want to be the mouse that they're throwing around and they're getting worked up. I'm not trying to be pounced on.
Yeah.
Like, I think the more we stay calm and don't show how upset we are, I think that actually helps us to get what we want, by like just claiming the joy of what we want and not letting them like get under our skin. Like so many people are so annoyed, and it's like, I get it that you're upset. It's just that that's not going to change what they do.
No.
So the strategy is to bring the light there, like we did with Cannabis Unity Day. And that felt good. And that felt right. You froze.
I froze?
Mm-hmm.
Am I moving now? I look like I'm moving. Mm-hmm. Am I moving?
Mm-hmm.
Am I moving?
You're good now.
Okay, just like I said, this Wi-Fi here is unstable, because I know we're running two different ones here. Doggone, I am froze. I saw myself frozen.
No, you're not.
Okay.
No, you are.
Okay.
No, you're not.
But no, but yeah, when I was looking at this piece of legislation right here, and when I was breaking down the bill, and I saw how they're trying to make it seem like they're mirroring the federal law, but it doesn't take effect until November. So, but as far as this right here,
You're talking
I'm
about the
trying to
federal bill?
yeah, I'm talking about the federal bill because it was a I don't know what it is with me and these daggum numbers 4121 HR 4121. I think that's the one. They started that back last year.
Federally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I was just looking for my notes while because I know I had the complete breakdown as far as like the different lines and stuff that they need to look at. So I'm just going through my notes and to go to that because I know that with SB33, what did it do? Like I said, it'll add more cannabinoids. And the danger of that is dealing with those frankenweed. They're going to keep making them. It don't matter. They're just going to keep adding another whatever to the little number. I'm not into chemistry.
Some places do test for glyphosate. I don't know.
Oh,
Georgia
yeah.
doesn't test for all pesticides, but there is an independent label now that people can certify their product as glyphosate free, like through this third-party testing. In other states are doing it. I'm sure Georgia can if they want, kind of like organic or home grow. So we can, as consumers, ask the providers to say, hey, can you provide us with glyphosate free products for our, whoever wants it, especially cancer patients.
Yeah, because you brought that to my attention along with the MCT oil. Because like with the MCT oil, I know that that's our biggest concern too when it comes to the vaporization. Because now that they passed the out of the committee the SB220 with the vaporization, my concern is will the dispensaries or the processors start utilizing MCT oil? Because I don't know if it's illegal or whatever, but I know it's not wise to utilize MCT oil when it comes to vaporization because of the carcinogenic aspects of it. So that's what
But
I was
isn't
going
it
to try.
fascinating? Don't you think exciting things are coming though from all of this education? Because isn't it fascinating that we're so hyper attentive to cannabis and yet chickpeas also phytoremediate? We're not testing those for lead and glyphosate and all that stuff. Spinach phytoremediates. We're not testing that for all the heavy metals. So I think like if we harness this correctly as free folks, free citizens, we can apply this to every aspect and not be hypocritical, especially with our youth being so attentive to authenticity. This is an opportunity to be the gateway to make everything better, because the choke that they have on cannabis can be for all of our food if done right to make sure it's clean.
That makes a hell of a lot of sense when it comes to that. When you look at, yeah, it does. Because it's like, okay, you're concerned about cannabis, hemp, and the intoxicating factor. Is it the fact that they just don't want us to feel good, but they want us to be sick by allowing these different chemicals and pesticides to come through and to be approved? That's why I do believe you testified for the SB 144 last year. Is it 144?
Yeah.
The pesticide bills, which we're looking at was it glyphosate?
Glyphosate. And I started looking at studies today, and there's an interesting thing that happens, how it inhibits it, and other pesticides inhibit your dopamine from having the full transfer into norepinephrine, which actually is linked to schizophrenia. So honestly, knowing that and knowing how Adderall stimulates the dopamine and the norepinephrine, like, are you sure the Adderall isn't causing some weird reaction there to also inhibit the norepinephrine because you're becoming dependent on that equation or whatever you call it? Like, there's so much to look at. And it's interesting when people throw things around in the committee. Like, I felt some kind of way when Ridley was like, you know, I know you're all going to be shocked, but I'm taking Adderall. And then when Chairman was like, I might need some of your Adderall to get through this hearing, I felt some kind of way about that, because it's funny to joke around. At the same time, it's a little bit sad to me that there's such a cognitive dissonance and disconnect from how healthy we can be if we were conscious of all of these choices with clarity that we're making.
And that's the bodies. And that's the clip that I was trying to find, because, you know, I have so many freaking clips of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're doing such a good job putting it out there.
Yeah, same to you too, you know, because it's not easy trying to download this stuff, because I was actually trying to find a clip of him saying that, you know, you might be surprised about me. And okay, yes, actually, I think this might be it right here. Yeah, but not later. I'll post that in post-production. But other than that, I know that you cannot equate consuming cannabis with the same way as far as dosage, because everyone's system is different. Everyone's system is different. And how you metabolize cannabis, hemp, whatever term you want to use, however you metabolize it, it's just the fact that we're all different. And the way that they were talking about it during committee, I was like, oh my God. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor, but I do know that it was just like nails on a chalkboard for me. Especially some of the questions.
It's like, I see that. It's like apples and oranges. It's like trying to squeeze the goodness of fresh orange juice and be like, okay, you just get like one shot of the fresh orange juice. That's all you need. It's like, well, what if I want more?
Yeah. But but other than that,
I think it's okay to be patient though with the conversation too. And it's totally okay to feel like nails on a chalkboard too. And also be like, you know, they just don't have enough experience. And it's frustrating because we're here and we want to share the experience. But, you know, there's this quote that I heard. The body cannot heal what it refuses to see. And being heard means being okay to suspend your disbelief about something. To really listen to me means you're going to have to, for a moment, suspend what you believe about me. And legislators aren't doing that for the most part until something moves them so that their dopamine naturally releases. But I think that's why I was triggered by, like, you know, so many people are on psychiatric drugs. So it's like, is there any natural dopamine release going on? Or is everything being controlled by the script that you're loyal to because you don't want to feel about stuff? You just want to do your job.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up about prescriptions. I was prescribed some medication to treat a condition that was part of the side effects of the pharmaceutical that they prescribed me. And that's what gets me. While everyone is coming in here, like Adderall, meth. You know what I mean? It's meth. I'm not saying that I mean, yeah, I'm prescribed Adderall. I know that for my ADHD. Do I take it always? No, I'll take it, but it's just like I don't feel right taking it in a sense. But it's like
playing with fire.
Yeah.
I came up with a really good analogy. Like, you have a bunch of tea light candles, and it takes fire to light them, but you do it gently. You have a little lighter. What if you just decided to use a torch? You would melt all the wax and you wouldn't have the beautiful light. And so when you have this opportunity to have like the psychiatric drugs, or even cannabis, or even sunshine, everything affects everyone differently, because if it's too much of something, it's like the torch.
Yeah.
And you can't light up what you need gently to get the reaction that you need.
And it's like,
organically.
Just thinking like some of these legislators, the only thing that they are focused on is the intoxicating factor. And that stems from the stigma. But I did find that clip. I'll go ahead and put that up here so you can see that part, right? Oh my God.
Yeah, that was a good one. You know, all this stress is aging people too.
It ain't the same thing. It's not the same. Everybody's different, because I might consume so many milligrams a day for whatever condition I have. They already have those dosages that they already prescribed to different people. Okay, you take one of these a day. That's what you take. Because other than that, you're going to die. Now, if I take too much cannabis, what's going to happen with me? Go to sleep. Maybe. I don't know. Not going to die.
It's a completely different paradigm, and they need to suspend their belief on what medicine is, or they're trying to make it a medicine, but it's one of the only medicines in its pure form that meets the definition of psychology, which is truly the study of spirit. But if you take psychology and you're trained as a psychologist, it's the study of the mind and chemistry. It's not the study of spirit. So how do we bring spirit back into medicine and into the capital and into that? You know, that's something Scribbles helps with. That's something singing helps with, is bringing the spirit there. And you know, they do it with the prayer in the beginning, but it's not everyone has those beliefs, you know?
And that's one of the concerns that I have, because it's like, I know, like with the First Amendment, when it comes to the freedom of speech and religion, with freedom of speech and religion, that includes all religions. And like I say, I might not agree with everyone else, but the thing is, that's them. I don't want to force my belief on anybody else. I just want to present the evidence. And the evidence right here, when it comes to cannabis, hemp, whatever, when it comes to that, it is good for industrial work. It's good for building. It's good for medicine. And evidently, it's great for profits. Because with the controversy that has been going on since the beginning, where people were making money in the beginning, they were making plenty of money, which I was wondering, is that was like a testing zone or whatever in the beginning. They were just trying to market research to see how many people would go for the intoxicating cannabinoids before they go ahead and bring in all the big cannabis companies, MSOs or whatever, to the place here.
Well, we need to stop standing around and looking while they're killing our profits. PROPHETS.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you, to be honest, with cannabis from the dispensaries, I haven't been to a Georgia-based dispensary since July last year. the products. That's why it needs to be, we need to be concerned more so about the patients. Because right now it appears that a lot going on is financial.
There's a lot of, yeah.
Because that product, it made me feel weird.
Yeah.
And I ain't been back. And that's why
Yeah.
a lot of times if the product degrades or if they're just more concerned about profit, I'm not going to go for it.
So similar to SB144, they've got a PFAS bill where they're saying the company's not liable even after they unload all these PFAS in the water. And it's so like that's, I don't think it's going to pass, but it did. I think it did pass one of the committees in its own rules, and they said they're going to send it back to the committee and to rework it. But see, that's the whole hempdemic. In the movie, I break down, we wouldn't even have PFAS if hemp was legal. Because Teflon wouldn't have been created. All those pans in the dump wouldn't be leaching their Teflon PFAS into our water already. But now it's the carpet companies. Well, if we just had hemp carpeting, we wouldn't have those spray chemicals on the carpet that were the PFAS. So it's like, let's get with it. I mean, people need to change their paradigm and really care about industrial hemp. If we're going to bring in the other part of cannabis, because we're going to get too sick from the PFAS and the glyphosate if we don't have our industrial hemp products to replace all the plastics, and even paper has so many chemicals now because it's not hemp.
Yeah, all the way down to maxi pads. Dealing with maxi pads, and it's just like you think about that's just like they have those natural. I forgot they have those. I know they have those hemp suppositories. I know that's over at. I'm gonna share that link too in my comment below, whatever. But yeah, the maxi pads and stuff like that, and you think about the cancers and stuff that comes from that, and
see, you could do it. You could, all of us activists, we could put all of our energy into creating these products somehow, instead of fighting these laws. I mean, it's important to fight the laws, but it's like, look at all this precious energy. Maybe we can just be creating things instead of destroying things.
Yeah.
Someone has to. Anyway, sorry, I'm like taking over.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, because while you talking, I'm trying to pull up my old clips that I had to refresh so I can bring it and put it back over here. Because I'm telling you, the way I had the show set up, and I guess that's kind of like Murphy's Law. When it's time to go ahead and go live, it's like everything gets cleared out. So, I just have to, I just don't understand what that is right there. So,
well, I think it has to do with the solar eclipse also that's about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's what it's March 4th, right?
No, it's tomorrow, I think. Or the 8th.
I thought it was like I thought it was going to be like an eclipse or something like that coming up. But
eclipse tomorrow.
All I know is I have been totally off all freaking day. And I was trying to get back on task because, like I say, I haven't, I was getting ready for the show and I thought about it last night because, I said I was going to go ahead and share some information about SB33. And I wanted to make sure that I shared, the lines and everything like that, because I know that's what a lot of people was waiting for, so they can go ahead and look for it, So
the solar eclipse is tomorrow.
Okay.
So, and we're in Aquarius, so it's like a very rebellious time. And
so yeah, I'm pulling up the bill now so that I can oh God, I promise you, like I say, I should have everything ready. And we have the activation packet that will be handed out tomorrow during the meeting. So the advocates will be ready for the rapid response. And I think I'm frozen again.
Tomorrow?
Yes, at 7 o'clock. I didn't get a chance. Hey Corey, if you watch and drop it down there in the chat, the link for the meeting tomorrow with Peachtree Normal. If you here, if you still here, because like I say, I think I left about 30 minutes ago. Oh my God. Oh my God. I think I left about 30 minutes ago. Yeah, I'm trying to go through all of my notes, and that's what I'm saying. When you watching multiple bills and then you're dealing with then you're dealing with just basically ADHD along with being tired and stuff.
Mhm.
And it's a lot. And I guess that's what a lot of people don't realize, that it's like, well, yeah, you could have did it this way, you could have did it that way. My thing is this right here, you got to practice some kind of way, and then when you get it going, and that's it. So, but yeah, I'm pulling up my lines now. All right. 1 second. Because what I did a comparative between SB33 and SB494.
Nice.
So yeah, so SB494 already restricted the market, raw flour retail ban, licensing layers, and SB33, it adds a new cap on total intoxicating cannabinoids. That includes everything, like right there. And that's part of that particular substitution. They always sneak in a freaking substitution, even though Senator Kim Jackson stopped that one 2024, they snuck in another one. So, and that's another thing we have to watch. We have to get with Representative Stovall, because she can break that down to a T, as far as like those rider bills, how they gut the bill and put what they want in there and all this other stuff, and like the substitution and pass with this substitution and that substitution. Like I said, that's still stuff that we're learning, and also resharing with everyone else. But looking for the line now. So dealing with the COAs and stuff like that, the COAs, the contaminant structures, that deals with keep the strength contaminant testing, accurate labeling. That's good. That's good. That I'm telling you, that's good. The child resistant packaging, everything. Okay, cool. That's good. But I'm gonna tell you, they're not doing the same thing when it comes to medical cannabis.
Right.
They're not. Because you can screw the stuff off, and you can set the stuff out, and you don't know exactly if it is medical cannabis or not, like that. So
and that's where ripping the plant apart into all these different things, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, but as far as on Wednesday, we already know that the people who are against cannabis, hemp, whatever, they're going to be there. They're going to be there. The reason why they're going to be there is I got the video. I'm going to drop those videos because I got some videos from what I was able to record during the hearing. But those people are paid.
Yeah.
Those people are paid. And it's like, okay, the lobbyists are paid. And I understand that when I looked up on a few years ago about a lobbyist and how much a lobbyist makes per calls, I found on one of them, somebody made $30,000 per calls. I don't know whether or not, if I'm trying to find that link now. But that particular cause, it just depends on that particular cause. And my stuff is freezing up on me. Oh my goodness. And I'm in a different browser. Oh my God. Yeah. So, but yeah, dealing with that right there.
I feel like solar eclipse energy is like, you have to kind of go within and find your vibration, and then things work easier, because when it's like we're external all the time, and the solar eclipse energy is like, no, just go inside and rest, and find rest in every cell of your body, and revive yourself, and then connect externally with people again. But it's like you've got to have that balance of going in and making sure you're okay, and not just pleasing everyone else. and like really connect with your heart.
Yeah, but I'm trying to find my freaking notes. But I'm gonna share this one right here. Oh my God, everything is frozen on me. I can't believe this, but I guess I can believe this, that Murphy's Law, whatever. But I'm gonna tell you, we got blamed for a lot of things but 2024. Well, I say we, but we're all the same. Because I'm pro hemp, pro adult use, pro cannabis. Period. I'm pro all of that. But if you look at the different states that they have an adult use market or even a medical cannabis market, the hemp is banned. Cannabinoids are banned, which I'm like, why would they ban these cannabinoids in freaking California? You got it in Colorado, Alaska, Arizona, Delaware, Hawaii, Idaho, Kansas, Massachusetts, Mississippi, Montana. I think Mississippi just passed or whatever because they were just cutting it out. I think they went through that this year because Mississippi outlaws all forms of THC derived from hemp. So that's Mississippi, Montana, Nevada, New York, North Dakota, Oregon, Rhode Island, South Dakota, Utah, Vermont, Washington, West Virginia, Wyoming. And we have to look at, when you go ahead and start checking out these legislators and stuff, you need to find out who's donating to that campaign. You can go to open source. What is it? Open source or follow the money. It's follow the money. You go follow the money. And you can find it on.
Okay, if they're not synthetically made, then a lot of these cannabinoids might not be as prevalent as THC, so you need to like extract it more. And then if you extract something more and if it has pesticides, then you're having concentrated pesticides.
Yeah.
So it might be a good thing. Like, we don't know. Like, I don't like prohibiting things, but what if a lot of these are laced with pesticides? How do we know?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know, and that's why I say I prefer the natural plant.
Yeah.
Homegrown. If it's homegrown, I don't want my stuff sprayed. I don't want anything added to it. You know what I mean? And I get what you say. At first, I didn't understand it because I knew as a patient, I just needed some form of relief because I used to use Delta 8 because that was all available. And I was like, okay, yeah, it works. I'm okay with it. But what about the long-term effect when it comes to that? And what process that they use to make that? That's my concern. It's like, wait a minute. Look what happened with DDT. DDT, what? Back in the day, Sevens dust. We used that. You know, Monsanto. We used that. I remember growing up as a little girl and seeing my grandma out there shaking that Seven dust on those plants. You see? And to see that and realize that now is deadly. Just like even the FDA approves so many different pharmaceuticals that like right now, people are able to sue. Pharmaceutical companies are able to fast track their product the same way that they did with that jab. I'm not going to say it because I ain't trying to get flagged. I already got cannabis over here when they had that jab going through. A lot of those companies were able to fast track through. I don't know if it was $80,000, but it was a certain amount of money that they could fast track their way through the FDA approval line. Y'all can look that up yourself. Look up fast track and how some of these pharmaceutical companies are able to manipulate the system.
That's why I loved what Longtron said at our annual event about how he wants to use like a coffee shop paradigm to check and balance these monopolies. Instead of having monopolies, you have the coffee shop paradigm where you as a boutique owner get to vet out every step of the way, the processing, all that stuff. See, one of the big issues with cannabis and having like 1 or 2 processors is you can't trust them that they're going to use just your strain and your plant. And they found, like in Tennessee, this one guy who helped to develop, Charlotte's Web, like that amazing strain, whatever that was. He gave his stuff to a processor, and the processor gave him back everyone's that was pulled together. So if one of them had pesticides, they all had pesticides now.
And that's why the processor fee was so high, right? Because they have to clean out the machine every time, right?
I mean, the processor fee was so high because they wanted to monopolize.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can process things without a fancy machine. The equipment is expensive if you're going to be like, the McDonald's of hemp and have chains everywhere. But
yeah, because
you're right. Like when you put the profits first, it's like quantity over quality.
Yeah.
And that's everywhere in business. So we just have to let Babylon fall and shift in this new revival.
But you know what? I will tell you, I had a flashback. Now, actually, when I was doing research and I brought in all those different videos, I saw our friend that's totally against cannabis, hemp, or whatever. He brought 1178. I think it was 1178. He brought that piece of legislation, and we saw some of the legislators that was in favor of a lot of those hemp bills. And we're going to go ahead and continue to highlight the fact that the current agriculture commissioner, Tyler Harper, no matter how cute he is, I'm telling you, he is adorable to me. I don't mean adorable like that, but I'm just saying he's a good guy. He's a sweet guy. I mean,
he was even cuter before he raised the processing fee. Did you see? He was even cuter when he was like, that processing fee, 10,000, that's too high. That was adorable.
I get you. I guess I don't know. I just don't know what happened. What caused the shift? What caused that hemp packet? And it's like, we don't have enough people to really investigate, to really go through. Well, I'm going to tell you, me, I don't have the time at this moment to go through because I had to put in a balance in what I do in life. I had to put a work-life balance to realize that this legislation and advocacy, it cannot consume my entire life, because that's what it started doing. And that's all I did. I talked about legislation all day. I looked at bill, all my causes and stuff like that, to where I had to check out. But now looking at this right here, my question is, what happened? Who, what, and looking at the other states. That piece of legislation at SB27, when it talks about how they don't want us to be able to research and look up different things because they are considered as cyber stalking, that's currently right now going through, making its way through legislation. I think it's on the House side. It already passed the Senate. That piece of legislation, that has to stop. But of course, who knows? They ain't going to do nothing but take that and tack it on to some other legislation. We can fight this legislation all freaking day long. They always have a backhand somewhere to go ahead and slip it somewhere else. So that's why we need to change the rules. We need to change it to where these legislators can't just gut this particular legislation and put what language they want in it just because they got it passed. Just like last year, they got rid of DEI because they were able to pass it with a teacher retirement bill. They were able to do quite a bit last year. But that's a whole nother story.
You're amazing that you follow things so diligently.
It happens by accident, because it's like I'm listening for cannabis and hemp, and I hear everything else, to where when I'm looking at this stuff and I see nothing but pieces of the puzzle that puts together all the way back to when I first started watching in 2021. 2021, when it came to the legislation, when it talked about protesting, to where I keep talking about the fact that they're giving people more time for burning up a police car than sexual assault. And that's what you see what I got over here. I don't know if you see it. Yeah. That's another thing.
When are we going to go to the Beltline?
You're going to see me at the Capitol. You're going to see me at the Capitol because, like I say, it's time for them to start hearing us, because evidently our voice hadn't been amplified enough. And people got to realize they got to look at their legislator. I'm telling you, those in South Georgia, East Georgia, East and North Georgia, the metropolitan Atlanta area, those are all the blue areas. The ones who have been voting against hemp expansion, sensible cannabis laws. Just saying. The proof is in the pudding. There are some Democrats that do vote with the Republicans. That's cool. But we need to make sure that you all know the reason why we don't have cannabis. It ain't because of no puppet. It's because of the legislators. It's because of the legislators and the lobbyists that are paying more to the legislators' campaigns. Out of sight, out of mind. We're too busy out here trying to work to make a living. By us out here working, trying to make a living, then what happens?
And now a lot of farmers don't have their workers. See, but that's all part of Babylon breaking down. It's like if you had more of a permaculture farm where you didn't need slave labor.
Exactly. That's exactly.
Yeah. I mean, when Chairman Dickey was up there and saying, "You want your chicken, don't you? Well, guess what? The chickens eat corn. And guess what? We need glyphosate to grow our corn in Georgia. So we need SB144. So, yeah, not if you guys stop having fast food. Like the chickens that I get don't, they don't eat the GMO corn. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. Like, farmers are one of the biggest numbers with suicide because it's such hard work. And if you plant thousands of seeds and none of them come up, and in the history of GMO, that's what would happen. They started in 1974.
That's our year.
You're the tiger. and the Chinese New Year starts this week too, right? The year of the horse, fire horse.
We were at the mall yesterday and we was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Everybody's all dressed up. What's it, the Lunar New Year or something like that?
Chinese New Year.
Is that what's going on? Yeah, man.
The Lunar New Year would be, it's a new moon this week too. So okay, it's a new day, y'all. It's a new day. It's a new life. I'm feeling good.
It's but just to simplify everything when it comes to 33, because I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down so I can get some clips. Because I think I'm at the 144 mark, and I know
what a lot of people don't know, just to finish that, is that a lot of the farmers were given these GMO seeds and they didn't come up, in the progression of the GMO, and so they developed these glyphosate pesticides to help the seeds grow. Anyway, go on. We can talk about
that the glyphosate, whatever. I can't even,
I know glyphosate.
Glyphosate, because it took me a long time to learn psilocybin. So, now that I got that, I was like, psilocybin this, psilocybin that. I got it. But yeah, really and truly, what's really and truly wrong with SB33?
Yeah.
The problem is they added as many cannabinoids that they know about, which in the long term will hurt the industry. Yeah, because absolutely. They will come up with Frankenweed. Yeah. Last year, the Ag Commission Council spoke against SB33.
Yeah, they did.
They did an entire blue ribbon study committee, which makes me wonder what the heck did they learn at the study committee? All the way down to, I'm just gonna say this too. SB33, y'all need to go out and speak out and let them know that, like, my screen and stuff is freezing over here, so I can't even pull up my form with everything on it. But just know that it's the THC I put in that particular document that I did submit to the committee. Just have Delta 9, just keep everything the way it is federally. That's it. Until they decide exactly what they're going to do. Hold on, I got a comment over here.
Yay, comment.
Oh. Okay, got you, Matthew. Yeah, I'm sorry we took so long to get here. My computer and everything is freezing up, but be sure to join the Peachtree Normal call. The Zoom link is here. Peachtree Normal dropped the Zoom link. Make sure you sign up. We're going to have a complete breakdown. And like I said, it's only a few lines in this bill, but just a few lines in a bill can destroy an entire community. Because if this bill passes in the form that it is in, this is just what we know about. This is all we know about, because we know things could change when it goes to rules. When it goes to rules, other things can go and get added to it. And when other things get added to it, then what happens? They get exactly what they want. That's why I'm wondering, with SB220, that particular bill, it started out as a good bill. It passed the committee. But with the new language and stuff that's in the bill, with them, even after the study, I am so disappointed. I am so freaking disappointed. Yes, it was some progress by renaming the program, but it's 11 freaking years. You heard the stories of all the stories of the advocates. You heard the stories. You saw the patients being rolled in up there on those raggedy ramps that we went through.
Oh yeah, I have to put that video out. Where is that video?
I probably look for it. But it's just a point. All these advocates had to go out there and do what they had to do just to get legislation passed to where it is. And it's like they keep snipping off and giving us crumbs. And it's like, what did they want us to do? They saw the kids. They seen the veterans that fought for this country. They heard my story and others too. What else do they need? Seriously, what else do they need? Do they need a whole bunch of us to come up there? I don't know.
They need education. I mean, even Chairman Newton, he was like, well, this will be different when it goes from Schedule 1 to Schedule 2. It's like, whoever talked about Schedule 2? It's been Schedule 3.
It's Schedule 3, yeah. And then, like, with Americans for... Oh, that's another thing. Make sure y'all tune in to Americans for Safe Access. I think they're bringing out the information about the hemp legislation and stuff like that federally. Y'all need to make sure y'all follow them and keep track of the medical cannabis, the CJS amendment, all that other stuff over there with Americans for Safe Access. And we're going to continue to share their information. But even here in Georgia, it sucks. It sucks because the legislators that keep getting elected, I just say, hey, if you like cannabis and you live in an area, in a red area or whatever, talk to your legislator. Talk to your legislator. Habersham, Coweta, all these other counties, Lowndes County, Tifton, all these different counties. Look at your legislator. Coffee County. Yeah, I remember Coffee County. Our friend is from Coffee County. I don't know whether or not if he's going to run again. But the reason why I know him, because I had a face-to-face conversation with him. And I talked to him and I told him my pain. But the only thing I saw in his eyes, I don't care. Some of these legislators don't even care. They just come set with their own mindset and not listen to their constituents.
So the question is, how do we disrupt what is only being held together by hypnosis?
Change the frequency.
Yes. To love.
Yeah.
Some people have never experienced what love is.
Yeah.
And that's what, I think that's what a lot of like the addiction recovery folks are dealing with. They need a substance to feel loved because they don't feel love. So what are we going to do? Get rid of children because there are some pedos in the world? That's like, are we going to get rid of cannabis because some people use it for love because they don't have any love? And that's actually a beautiful plant to actually feel love if you don't feel love. A lot of other things don't really feel love, but actually cannabis can open your mind just to remind you that you're lovable.
And just replacing some things in your body that you need. For me, as far as with me, because I remember how I used to be. Those who knew me before cannabis, those who knew me in my sickest days, talk about grumpy. I mean, cannabis cured my road rage. Atlanta traffic, people cut me off once upon a time, I used to chase people down. What do I do now? My wife would get on and like, man, did you see? I'm just driving. Because it changed my life. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and end
I think it changes your frequency. Absolutely. It must. It must change the frequency.
And if you got the right kind, and that's why I said they keep using the term, this isn't the 1970s weed. Okay, yeah, it's not. Let us grow our own. It should be.
Let us. Why can't it be? Why can't it be the 1970s weed?
Yeah, let me grow mine. Do I care for the dispensary weed? The ones that I visited and stuff like that. And I realized that they're isolating just the THC to get a higher content. I just want the natural stuff. I don't know much about it. I don't. I'm just lucky enough to get whatever I get when I, and consume my meds. That's one thing. But having to count on pharmaceuticals, I can tell that my life has really and truly changed since just utilizing the pharmaceuticals versus the whole plant that I need. The hemp, that's another reason why we're fighting for the hemp, because the hemp flower, the raw flower, the THCA, the unsprayed THCA, the natural forming THCA basically is what I'm for. You know what I mean? But what can I say? I'm just Yolanda, just here, just trying to do the right thing and do right by the universe. And just to tell the people that if you want to save your business, contact your legislator when it comes to CBD and hemp. The advocates that are down there, we're doing the best we can. That's all I can say.
Well, I completely agree with you. And I really want to ask the legislators, are you imprisoning yourself? Are you creating a prison for your thoughts when you can be creating freedom?
Do they even know what true happiness is? Or are they only driven by the love of money? Because if you're driven by the love of money, then you'll never be happy because you'll never have enough. Because you'll look over here and you'll be like, dog, they got this amount and I want it too. You'll never be satisfied. You continue to jump like a frog on a daggum lily pad, hopping from one thing to another. Because, okay, hey, it's some more money over here. But what change are you really making? But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end it because we at the 2-hour mark. I appreciate y'all having in here and stuff like that.
Thanks
But
for including me with the spiritual dialogue.
yeah, because I'm telling you, I was tired, and when my computer froze up, I was still trying to come on time, but
yeah, because that money you're talking about, that's the artificial light, you know, and once you're used to artificial light, you think that's all you need. You forget you have the spiritual light.
And that's one thing I learned about this plant. So many people have been disrespecting this plant. When I started learning more about this plant, and that is spiritual, and it's just not about transitioning to another realm that some people choose to do. I know what it did for me. And I know what I feel like when I utilize my meds. I can tell the difference. I can tell the difference between what happened with me when I was bedridden, when I couldn't do nothing, when I was looked upon as an addiction, you know, the opioids, when I had to go get a new prescription. The doctor made me feel bad, taking a drug test, then going to the pharmacy trying to get it filled, and still to be, you know, stigmatized because of this plant. But anyway, like I say, cannabis saved my life, and I'm gonna stick with
disrespect. Yeah, that disrespect was so unnecessary, and we're healing. Yeah, we've got the conversation. We've got the crack open. Now we just need to keep watering it and let the seed grow.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about 1248. Look like I might have to do another one. I probably pre-recorded this time so I can go ahead and stay on task.
But anyway, I know, it's my fault. I didn't know you were gonna bring me on, and then I just got totally off.
Oh no, it's me because I couldn't find my notes. But anyway, we gonna holler at y'all. Y'all take care. It's been 2 hours. Thank y'all for sticking in. Like I say, I'm gonna be more consistent and bring in more content, and of course, stick with me. It's gonna get better and better every time. More information shared, and be sure to follow Viva and the Flying Penguins on YouTube. She's going to be sending out a newsletter, and join Peachtree Normal's call tomorrow night at 7 p.m. The link is over here in the comments. Y'all have a good one. We out.